We're working on an Ikea crate today. So this is not the crate, obviously there's more parts to it. I did this over on my page. I kind of shared how I stained this using Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint in the colour Curio, which is their brown colour. So it makes a great stain. And right now, all you're seeing on that stain is it's looking quite chalky and porous. So it does need a sealer. If you're using milk paint or chalk paint, they do need a sealer to seal them in. But I want to do the sealer after I've put my stencils on the side of the Ikea crate box. So it all fits together with a base and two sides and two ends, and super easy to do. I've put together quite a few of these. So I want to be stenciling on that today, but let me show you first the November stencil of the month, Stencils. That's where we were up to, showing you there's three lots of huge stencils in the pack. There's these words, and I know Amanda showed you a great live using these yesterday. So I'm going to try not to use all the same ones that she used, because there's so many different options really that you can do with this. Did I show you the tree? This is fun. Tree, holly berry, whoops, wrong side, holly berry, hollies, berries, leaves. You could make your own Christmas tree with these kind of things, or you could make a wreath with these as well. Just great for decorating. All right, and the other one is the add-on. So if you haven't had a look at the add-on, it's this cross-stitch pattern. You can see mine, I have used this top section already, so it's just slightly red. But here's an example of how you can use that on a cushion. Today, I also, if I have time, I want to be showing you a couple of tea towels. Now, I did one yesterday, and if you saw my live on my page this morning, I gave those people a sneak peek of that, the tea towels, and one that I did yesterday. And so if I have time, I'll do that. So on our crate this morning, I'm going to be working on the sides and around the sides to create sort of like a Christmassy box that you could perhaps put a Christmas tree in. Very easy. I did one last year using some essential stencils. I'll show you that actually, but this one's going to be completely different. So here's one that I did last year, and it's got now my Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint sample boards in it, but I did it using some of the Christmas tree stencils from last year. So you need to check out essentialstencil.com, use my code IRestoreStuff, and you can get 10% off all of your essential stencils. So that's one I did last year. I can't wait for the Christmas stencils to arrive. I got a notification. If you've pre-ordered the Christmas stencils, they should be traveling to you right now. So hopefully I'll receive mine soon. But there's still last year's sets that there are quite a number of stencils of. And I showed you last week the Merry Christmas, tree farm sets and things like that. So, that again is another one that you could add onto here. Farm fresh Christmas trees, add some little Christmas trees to each side. Let me flip you down so you can see the project. Oh, Abby's got the pre-order bundle coming. Yeah, so many of you have that pre-order of the Christmas stencils coming. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to be using the cross-stitch pattern that I showed you just a minute ago. But what I want to do is also use this one, because that fits perfectly right here. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Now, one thought I had, and here's the bit where I think I'll just cut to my top view. There we go. It's beginning to look a lot like, and I thought, let's just leave that off. You could just totally leave Christmas off. And what I want to do is add a little bit of, I think I won't though, I'll do this around the sides. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And of course, when you've got a box and you've got it as decor and displaying it, you're going to not see that one side every time. You're going to have it turned, probably one to the wall, or you could have it on a table and you can see both sides. But you're only ever going to see one side at one time. So if it's not Christmas, you could put something that's, not as Christmassy, like I did with that box, on the other side, so you can flip it around. All right, so there are a number of different things, and look, they're almost the right size, exact size for this Ikea crate along the sides of the box. But there are so many different options. So you could do, it's beginning to look a lot like, and then add, a whole bunch of the poinsettia down here, or you could add, we've got the reindeers and the little Christmas trees either side. So I might do some of those on the other side. This box is just going to be Christmassy, Christmassy. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is just add the words, and I'm going to do those in white. So I'm just using a chalk paint, a furniture paint, to do that. But I will use a stencil brush, so I'm just adding a bit of paint on my little lid here. And those of you who have practiced stenciling will have practiced offloading. So we just want to dip a little bit in the on the brush, and I can wipe some off on the edge. Now this one I can't really use the painter's tape to hold it still, but that's always a good idea if you can, because the borders of the stencil run over the top outside here, so it kind of wouldn't really help. So I'm just going to use my hand and make sure it's really steady. Now I've got to make sure I've got the crate up the right way. This larger gap at the bottom, I can tell it's the right way up. So I'm holding this extremely tight with my hands. I've got white on my brush, have dried it off as much as I can, and then I'm just going to go round and round. Using my stencil brush. Adding a little bit more as you go, as you need it. So just going to go on these words here. I do like this song. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere we go. There we go, guys. Come on, get in the spirit. Who's with me? Yes, someone says, oh, I love the accent. I'm from Australia and I'm in Queensland, which is nice sunny state. A little bit like Florida weather, they say. It gets quite hot and humid in the summertime, which we're going into summer as you guys move into winter, obviously, because we're on the... Oh, I think I may have put a little bit too much on my brush and didn't offload enough. Now, I did say that you could just leave it like that. It's beginning to look a lot like, and then just have people guessing, because everyone knows what that means, don't they? Have a little guess happening, but I am going to put the Christmas in here. And Essential Stencil does have their stencils back in stock, so don't forget, use my code IRESTORESTUFF. Get 10% off, add it to your order. And this is the Stencil of the Month Club November set. And there's still another, week and a half that you can order this exact set before then the cut-off date. And they do have an add-on. And guys, this month I'm telling you, you will want the add-on. It's this little cross-stitch thing right here beside me. It's got all the designs on it. There is just so much you can do with that. You can use part of it, all of it at once. Make decorative edges, like I am going to try and show you later on a tea towel that I've made for Christmas. Great Christmas gifts or teacher gifts, that kind of thing. So Essential Stencil have put up there the link to the Stencil of the Month Club. Now guys, if you use my code IRESTORESTUFF, you'll get 50% off your first month of the Stencil of the Month Club. So that's something that I would love you to take advantage of. I'm just doing a little pouncing, a little swirling every now and then. Sort of pounce and swirl at the same time. There's all these technical terms we use. Someone else has got their Stencil of the Month Club, and yeah, Yana says use it for Valentine's since they are little hearts. There are little hearts. They are gorgeous little hearts. I said cross stitch before, but it's kind of like a little embroidery of some kind. Okay, let's have a look at that. It looks like I've got some snow sprinkled in there where the brush bristles flicked it. But you can see that looks quite crisp because we offloaded as much as we could on the brush. If it is looking a little bit too thin, oops, I'm not sure where to take my, there we go. If it is looking a little bit thin, you can always do a second coat but I don't mind the way that that can look a little bit rustic. In fact, I probably, because it's kind of got that farmhousey look, I think I might even be able to distress the stenciling slightly as well. So I'm just going to pop my brush in a plastic bag and quickly wipe off this. As much as I can anyway. Dries pretty quickly, chalk paint and furniture paints. But I have a wet cloth on hand, so when you're stenciling, just have your wet cloth on hand to rub that off. Okay, we'll do that some more after. Now for the sides of the box, what I want to do is, let's make sure we've got this around the right way. I'm going to follow this around. So we've got the two ends. See, these are the ends that go on like so. And then we've got the back of it, which we'll be doing some more things to. So I've got it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The rest, I want to put a little band around the bottom of one of these from the little cross-stitch design. So let's start with the centre one, and then I'll work, sorry about that big bang, then I'll work on the two sides. So it can go, you know, right across. Oh, I could, no, it's not the right height. It's kind of different heights. So let's see. Oh, guys, which one will we pick? Now, that bottom one is cute too. I think we might go with this one here. So do I need to, I could tape that off, but I don't think my brush is going to quite reach that. So I'm happy with just going ahead and doing this across the bottom. And then we do have some more space at the top to add some things. And we could add the deers up here, some little Christmas trees, or something else from the branches over here. So which one was I going to do? Let's do this one. Kind of looks Christmassy. Has anyone else used this? Now, if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, we also have a Facebook group. And guys, the talent that is in that group, there is just so much inspiration. I love just jumping in there, seeing who's creating what with the stencils, with the Stencil of the Month Club stencils, and even the regular essential stencils. You get so many great ideas. That's just totally worth being in the club. There is just the community that you get with the other members of the group. So totally recommend it. Oh, I did that whole stencil because those little hearts are so tiny. It was quite quick and easy to just do that right along there. Now we do have some little ends, and I'll show you how to just add a little bit to the end, okay? So there's the pattern going across there. All I will do is just line that up with the last row right here. So see those 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 hearts at the end. You'll see there's 5 hearts at the end. Well, there's probably not. There's a different amount because that's this side and this is this side. But what I'm going to do is just pop that there and kind of line up the top heart with the bottom heart. That's all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to hold very carefully and just do that end. And I am going to need a little more paint for that. Wow, this paint is really drying out today very quickly. So that is how you just keep repeating the pattern, and you maybe could try and find the exact repeat and you know, place it down on that, but that's enough to just kind of keep it going along the side. And then again on this side. Who else is loving these patterns? It's the add-on. So it's that you order the Stencil of the Month Club, and then there will be an option there. Would you like the add-on this month? And just say yes, because it's so amazing. Okay, so I'm going to line up that top heart and the bottom heart within this stencil here. Hold it down super tight. Yes, Ellen, aren't they? She said it's an awesome group of people. Everyone is so supportive. They sure are. That you can ask questions in there about the stencils and how to stencil and all these different techniques. And okay, there we go. Look at that pattern repeated right across. So now I'm going to line that up with this one, this base here. I don't really have to because I kind of know, I think, where I put it. and it was just above that line there. Oh, I should have. Hey, you know me. If you've been watching me any length of time, you know that I just kind of eyeball these things. Let's just go for it, hey? Okay, getting another little dash of paint, and I offload the paint onto the paper because that stops it when I swirl, when I pounce, and when I swirl, it stops it bleeding under the stencil. Oh, it's just drying really fast. Very cute. Yeah, everyone else is saying they love add-on as well. Kim, yeah, you can just go back and get the add-on. Email support or subscription at essentialstencil.com, and you'll be able to ask them how you can add the add-on if you've already got your first month. If you've just joined, and welcome to all our new Stencil of the Month Club members. You will really, really love being in the Facebook group, so make sure you join that. Okay, we've got our one end. Ta-da! See, so some little bits are faded, some are not, but I kind of really like that rusticy look. And now our other end. See how I do these all without the crate being put together yet? I love to just paint it, get it all sealed and everything, and then put it on. I may not seal it today, I may just put it together to show you how it's going together. So again, just estimating where I think I put the last one. And Charlotte says she needs to order the add-on too. Yeah, it's really, really special, this one. So many different uses for it. Yeah, you could definitely use that for Valentine's also, because it does look like little hearts. Peggy says this stencil is one of her favourites. Yeah, it's a really great idea. Can you imagine this on the bottom of clothing, you know, just a little cross stitch on the bottom of a blouse or a t-shirt or the bottom of some pants, I don't know. Think outside the box. I like getting a little crazy every now and then. Okay, let's see if I've got right to the end. Filling in those holes. Feels like it's drying on my brush so quickly. All right. Oh, guys, that looks a little crooked. Never mind. Okay. Then I want to probably add something onto this side. So I've got, if you've just joined me, we've got, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We're putting an Ikea crate together. This is one of their small crates. And you could use this for storing, you know, blankets at Christmas time. Probably not big enough for that. Little towels at Christmas time, or Christmas tree is what I used mine for last year, and I'll show you. You can do that easily. I'm going to have to clean my stencil a little bit better when I'm finished my live. Joyce said she's a pouncer, yeah, so we have lots of different methods and ways of actually putting this paint on the stencils, don't we? Some pounce, some swirl, some smoosh, all the technical terms. Don't forget to wipe down the back of your stencil also, because what happens is when you're wiping it, it actually goes through to the back side, and if you're going to put that down again and it's still a little bit damp, you're going to get those, the paint on your piece. All right, that's what I was going to do. Something for the side here, so let's have a think about that. We could put some more words on. Remember in the Stencil of the Month Club set, we've got 2 sets that have the words on it. This one's the add-on, and then we've got a Christmas tree. Is this the holly? Guys, mistletoe. Okay, mistletoe, holly, and these beautiful pine leaves down here and branches. So, you know, you could do something like this, but I don't want to have too many pattern type things, you could do a tree. The tree's too big for this little box, but imagine that on the side of your Christmas tree bucket or something like that. We could also continue using this and actually add the deer and the Christmas trees up to the top. So I might just do that. Just centering that. Now, because I've got this gap in here, I've got a weird sticker looking thing here that was from the Ikea sticker that wouldn't stain. So that's a little annoying. It would be good if I could just cover that up. Maybe the Christmas tree will help cover it a little bit. So we're not going to see the very base of the Christmas tree, but this will still work. Okay, adding some white paint again. Oh, you know what? Oh, you guys, I did this upside down. So now my handle, this was supposed to be down the bottom. Okay, what to do? Well, you know, we'll have to think about that. Oops, and now I've got white on my brush that I was going to use for red. That's okay. I'll have to make a top design as well, won't I? I'll just put it on both ends. Oh dear, didn't really think about that. Okay, holding this down really tight again. I've got enough on my brush. Remember, we offload on here and then swirl it. So this one is from the Essential Stencils stencil brush set, which is now back in stock. So don't forget, use the code I Restore Stuff to get you stencils and your stencil brushes, and you save 10%. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, I think I might put the same design on the top, and that'll save my boo-boo. I mean, it's just paint, so really I could sand it back, stain that bit again, and start again. But, you know, my lovely sister who loves to do art once told me there's no mistakes in art. It's just, I don't know, creative opportunity or something. Sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going over the top. I don't know if you can see that through the stencil. There's a gap in the box, in the crate itself. So we're just going to cross that gap. It's just, it can't be helped, and it's not going to look too bad. This is kind of a rustic farmhouse look, made to look like an old crate a little bit. So when we've finished all this, if the paint sort of looks a bit too new, just grab a little bit of sandpaper and rub along. Trying not to get those hearts down the bottom here because I don't want them painted over the top of there. It's a different design. Yeah, Jill says the Essential Stencil brushes are awesome. This one is the 7/8 inch brush, but it comes in a set of 4, so there's a 1/2 inch, I think a 3/4 and a 7/8, and I don't know what the other one is. Okay, let's see how this worked out. Please tell me I have that correct and it's up the right way. Yes. Okay, so we've got some reindeer little Christmas trees there. Now to fix my little boo-boo. So we've got this here, and it sort of all joins nicely along around the edge, if you can see that. So that's the base. Oops, I should just hold it this way. The base of the box. And we've got this coming onto the other side. And then we've got this one, but it's upside down because the handle goes this way. See? So what we're going to have to do is make that same little heart down the bottom and up the top, because Sharon wasn't thinking. Okay, here it is. I'm going to bring that down the bottom again. Just looks, it'll look like a little Christmas sweater box. I really do like this design. And Essential Stencil has put the links for all of the, where you can go to the Essential Stencil of the Month Club and join up, and you'll get this whole November set. So we've got 3 huge, what are they, 6 by 12 I think? No, 12 by 16 stencils with words, with, you know, you just mix and match all of the different designs. There's 3 of them that come every month, that size. And so for November, we've got those 3, plus this is the add-on that you can add on for extra. So each month they'll have a little extra add-on that usually coordinates with whatever the other design is, and you can just interchange them, use them all. And there are so many different stencils in the whole Essential Stencil range that you can use with other stencils. You know, you mix and match them, use certain words of fonts with other fonts, and all sorts of fun. So we are just adding this around the base and the top now of the ends. It's going to look, yep, see, faded in some areas and some not, and that's okay. And now we'll do it on the top of this one. Yeah, and I did it upside down, so we'll have to match it. Matching. See, no such thing as mistakes, guys. I meant to do this all along. So the hearts are so tiny, you could literally pounce, or you can do a little bit of swirling. My brush is really drying out. I feel like I might just dampen that with my wet cloth that's sitting there. See if that might help to add the paint on. I feel like it's not coming out as strong as it was before. Okay, nearly finished this one, and we're nearly run out of paint too. So when we're rubbing off the brush there, it's kind of swirling it around within the bristles of the brush to spread it around a bit, because if you went straight on with that, there's a big chunk at the base of it. So that's part of our method too. Okay, so that's looking a lot more faded right there. I don't know if I can line that up again. Oh, I don't know if I'll try. No, I think we're just going to go with that, guys. All right, get my wet cloth, quickly give that a wipe. See if there's any more questions. So Rhonda's replying to Yana, who's probably asking about the chalk paint. Yeah, so I'm using chalk paint, which chalk paint's a little bit thicker than, and obviously dries real chalky, so you can make chalkboard, you know, things with it. It's a bit thicker, so it lends to things like you can add texture and brush strokes to furniture painting and things like that. I use it in my workshop for furniture painting, as well as I use mineral paints and milk paints, so lots of fun. And if you want to know more about the difference between the chalk paint, milk paint and mineral paint, I have a great blog post on my blog, irestorestuff.com, that does exactly that. If you typed in the search bar of my blog, irestorestuff.com, and you type in what's the difference, you'll find my post that's all about what's the difference between the 3 main types of furniture paint that you've got on the market today. And I'm just using a wet cloth. Now you can use, Melissa's been telling us about this product called Awesome that you guys can get from your dollar store. I think I probably have to find it somewhere else here in Australia, because it does sound awesome, and it's supposed to just really be super quick at getting your stencils all clean again. So don't forget to get the back. Got some little flecks of red there from another project. All right, let's get this thing put together. Got my handy drill here. And so the only thing left to do is to seal it, and I may just show you how I just distress that slightly, or very lightly, with just a little bit of sandpaper to just make the letters not so fresh and crisp, because this is kind of a farmhousey style box. Just a really light sand across the surface of the letters. And I know it kind of looks like I'm spreading the paint a bit, but we just will wipe that off and you'll see. And it's just kind of giving them a little bit more of a aged look. I don't want to go too much because if I sand too much, it's a bit harder to put it back on. If I just sand lightly, let me see if I've got a clean little bit of this rag cloth. There you go. So I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit more distressed right where that Christmas sign is. You can see that a bit better. Okay, so we'll seal that in the end. But these are pretty easy to put together if you've never bought one of these from Ikea. Or you can just get a ready-made crate that you can get from online as well. So let's see if all our little bits and pieces match all up together. Best way to do this is just pop it on its end. Now there's small screws and larger screws. The smaller ones are to put this together and the larger ones are to put the base in at the end. So meanwhile, if you've got any questions about using the stencils or anything else that we're using, let me know. Okay, and again, I've got that upside down. We want these ends to be matching right here. So what I did first to prep this, the crate just comes raw. So I just painted it with a stain using Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint. But you can actually use any water-based paint and just water it down. So just grab a brown paint, if it's water-based, make sure it's water-based. Brown paint, add some water until you've got the consistency that you like for the stain. And you can always do a second coat if you wanted to. So there's our top right there, showing that off while I just screw this into the side here. Okay. Turning that around. So like I said before, this doesn't have any sealer on it yet, so what I'll just do is seal that with a flat matte sealer to finish it off. But I want to show you in a second, guys. Don't forget too, there's prizes today, as always, on our Essential Stencil lives. If you've never watched a live here before, Essential Stencil does a giveaway at the end for 3 lucky people who are joining in the comments. And looks like it's not coming together properly. And also in the replay, if you're watching the replay, just comment the word replay in the comments and you have a chance in the next 24 hours after the live's finished to win some Essential Stencil products as well. So forgot to mention that at the beginning. For our new people, if you've never watched one of our lives before, let me know in the comments. All right, so this is the base. Hi Cindy, that's okay. I've made an Ikea crate. She said she's come in late. Bang that down inside. And then we've got the 4 large screws here to screw the whole base on. So let me see, is there anyone who's not stenciled or not been on a live before? I'd love to hear from you. Someone said, I love the distressed look you get when you sand the letters. Yeah, so I just distressed Christmas words a little bit just to make them look a little bit more rustic to fit in with the crate, theme of the crate. Sorry if that's real noisy. The crate was from Ikea, and well, I'm in Australia, so you can just look it up on the Ikea crate depending on what country you're in, how much they are. They're quite reasonable. I think this was like about $10 in Australian, so that's probably only like $6 for you guys. But check out your Ikea shop and just look up crate box. There we go, look at that. So there's one side, I've got the deer and the Christmas tree. I could even distress that if I wanted to, just to make it a little bit more rustic. And we've got 2 patterns on this side. We've got beginning to look a lot like Christmas on here and the patterns on here. So one more super quick project I wanted to show you, sorry. Oh, let me just flick the camera over. Here's my Christmas tree, just so you can have a look at what that looks like. Isn't that cute, guys? Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you is with the November stencil of the month is just a super quick and easy tea towel project that will just brighten up any plain, boring tea towel. You can see these ones I've got right here. Oop. Just getting rid of this so I can put this down. There we go. So that made a nice little crate. All right, so I've got just some plain looking tea towels here and another plain one here. Now this one, I can't even remember where I got these, but you've probably seen them around. The fan is blowing them in the background. I've got a little flag. Kathy's asking what the crate cost. It was from Ikea. So just check your local Ikea store or just check it online, Ikea online. But you can get little crates even from Amazon. I should put a link there for that. All right, what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of paper in between the halfway mark of the tea towel. So what we want to do for this is just, I'm putting a piece of paper in between so that then you can stencil on it. I mean, I don't have to fold it in half. You could leave that dangling out there, but I only want that half showing because here's one I prepared earlier. Here's where we're going to just hang it. Hang on, I'll show this angle. We're going to hang it like this. So see how I've made that little design down the bottom using the stencil, and that's got the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas has those 3D looking shadow letters on it. So that's the add-on down the very bottom there. So let me show you that really quickly. Now, here's a fun word that I thought would be great for a tea towel. Eat, drink, and be merry. Okay, so that's super easy. And we can add the add-on as that little feature down the bottom. Let me just pop that there. So you want to put that in around about the centre. There's two different wordings here. So we've got eat, drink, and be merry, or Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you've just joined us, we're using the Stencil of the Month Club stencils. I've got the Christmas tree one here. We also used these other words for my crate box that I showed earlier. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Eat, drink, and be merry. I'm just going to use a red, gorgeous burgundy red colour with another essential stencil brush. Paper to offload. Looks like I've used this one before. And we just offload really easily right there. I'm centering the sign to the tea towel. I'm going to work from here. And so you can imagine that this would hang over your oven railing if you've got a little, railing on your oven. Now, people have asked me about painting on fabric before. I'm just using furniture paint. It's a water-based, acrylic-based resin, fusion mineral paint. And you just set it with a hot, dry iron, as with any other, or you can just use fabric paints, which tell you the exact same thing. I've painted lots of fabric over the years, and it sets really well with a hot iron. Then you can wash it and the paint will stay there. Yes, so if you missed I've got my little tree box right here that looks so cute with your little mini trees that you can pop around the house anywhere. Would look great in an entryway. That's where we had ours last year, was in our house entryway. And we're just adding, this is the November Stencil of the Month Club set. So you've got another week and a half or so to order these ones. Before then they'll get ready to announce the December Stencil of the Month set. So every month a set of 3 huge stencils that include lots of mix and match items if you've just joined and you didn't hear that before. And they usually have an add-on. So this month's add-on is this gorgeous little cross-stitchy looking design beside me that I'm going to use for along the bottom of the tea towel. So I love this red for Christmas. It's called cranberry, the colour, in Fusion Mineral Paint. But it's just a wine colour red, or a deep burgundy kind of a red. And nearly finished that bit. And if you missed the when I used the add-on earlier, the little cross-stitch design here, I'll show you that down on the bottom of this tea towel in just a minute. Don't go anywhere because we have prizes to win. The Essential Stencil will pick some 3 prize winners, and then on the replay, if you're watching the replay, comment replay in the comments and they will pick another winner within 24 hours of our live. Okay, so that's kind of sticking to the tea towel. You know that it's it's got good sealed edges. All right, so there we go, nice and crisp. Eat, drink and be merry. I'll wash that off later. And then the base, so for the other tea towel that I showed you earlier, I stenciled this design along the bottom. So you could do that. Or you could do the deer across the bottom, and then you can repeat that. So what I might do is leave a little bit of room. I'm going to center it between here and here, again using that gorgeous red. And what did I think? We're going to repeat, we could repeat it or we could just leave it as is. I think we could even leave that. So once again, offloading. See how super quick and easy this project is? You could get a whole bunch of tea towels done for gifts for teachers or employees, fellow co-workers, friends, family. It's getting about that time where, well, I know in Australia we have sort of end of year Christmas parties with co-workers and things like that in preparation for the holiday season. Anyone else have work Christmas parties? So these are a lovely idea, especially when you're doing your Christmas events earlier in the year. Then people have got time to decorate with these lovely Christmassy decor items that we're painting. I'm going to have a little peek because I feel like that's not coming through just as well. The hearts are a little bit smaller, so what we're going to do is do some pouncing. And like I said, what you need to do to, sorry, I'm missing some of those comments. Just making sure, and you guys are so good at helping answer some of the questions that come up here in the lives, but I do like to go on afterwards. So if there is anything that I've missed, I can answer your question afterwards. All right, gorgeous, cute little deers. Oh, Joyce has got a great idea. Put it in the dryer to heat set it. Fantastic idea. You could very well do that on a hot setting. And the other idea I had before was just to use a hot, dry iron and iron it on the reverse side so that, and I would use or you could use a old handkerchief or some little scrap piece of linen or something on top of the design so that it kind of doesn't stick to your iron or anything. It's always a helpful idea. I can kind of see right here, not sure that it's going on properly. Well, it's going to look a little rustic, I think. Yep, not too bad. And you can go on with that either side, but I think I'm just going to leave it just like that, and that will help to, like, you can fold that then on the edges. Let me show you what I mean. So there we go. Put some paper in between. So you could do that, the folding thing like this, and hang it over your railings. Oh, my fan is blowing in the studio, so everything's blowing away. So you can just fold that like this, hang it over a towel rack or something like that, and you could still see the little cute designs here. So depending on how you fold it. And here's the other one that I made last night. So this is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas with the add-on down the bottom. Isn't that gorgeous? That came out nice and crisp because I wasn't rushing. There we go, and there's this one. So you can use any colour red for Christmas, or you could use a green. How about a green one? But I'm a bit of a red person. I like the red for Christmas. And then earlier, so we're about to pick some prize winners any second now. Essential Stencil is going to pick some prize winners. So let me just show you what we've created, this gorgeous Ikea crate idea for a Christmas tree, or you could store some things inside of it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Remember, we've got our little cross-stitch design going around the border with some deer on the other side, and then around here. Yeah, so you could even store your tea towels in here, hey? In this little box, but it's a very cute crate, so I'm going to seal that and then finish it off, take some pickies of it, and I'll pop them up in our Stencil of the Month Club for those who might have missed the live today. But let's see, have Essential Stencil picked our winners yet? Maybe I need to, I didn't do a drum roll. Congratulations, our winners today are Donna Campbell, congratulations, Christina Little Villanowith, I hope I said that right, and Ellen Purves Mitchell. So Donna, Christina and Ellen, please email support@essentialstencil.com and let them know you're a winner and give them your details to send a prize to. So, and if you are watching the replay, don't forget to comment replay within 24 hours of the live for another chance to win. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed those 2 craft ideas, and happy stenciling. Don't forget to click on the link to join the Stencil of the Month Club. Use my code IRestoreStuff for 50% off your first month. And don't forget the add-on. Add-on this month is totally worth it. Catch you next week. Bye.